Quiet on the set.
Camera speed.
Sound production.
Roll sound.
Rolling.
Sound production. Take 2.
Welcome to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. Remember those childhood movies you loved? Now, we're going to watch them again and find out if they're still as amazing as you remember. Or, your father was right. You were an idiot, and everything you watched was stupid. So buckle up, movie aficionados. Over-the-top gore? Check. Over-embellished action? Check. Gratuitous nudity? Double check. Storylines so absurd you could drive a semi-truck through those plot holes. Oh yeah, some of those movies didn't even know what a movie plot was. And that's the way we liked it. Now, here's your hosts, Anna Santos and Jimmy Coates.
Yay!
And oh, look at you in a car.
At the drive-in.
So fancy. I
Oh.
am not that fancy.
What's that?
I am not that fancy.
So how was your week?
How was my week? That's a fantastic question. I found it very hard to concentrate this week. Maybe it's just because the long weekend is coming up.
I
And
forgot
so
the long
now,
weekend was coming up.
yeah, that's this weekend.
Yeah.
That's this weekend. I remember because I can't work on the Monday afterwards, and it pisses me off. But anyways, but yeah, no, it's just the days have been going by so fast, and before you know it, it's 11 p.m. and you're like, the fuck did I do with my day?
Yeah.
It's just gone. But that's okay, because extra sleep on the weekend.
Yep. I watched some great movies this weekend. Not these movies.
No, not these movies. Oh
Other
God, no.
movies.
Yeah.
I watched Evil Dead Rise.
Ooh,
Fantastic.
was it?
Oh, so good. So good. So gross.
Oh God, yeah.
So, and
That was one thing. Evil Dead, the new Evil Dead. I was like, damn, you guys like went in. And
Yeah.
that's why when I saw the Evil Dead Rise, I was like, ooh, more.
and then I watched Extraction 2.
Oh yeah.
Chris Hemsworth, and I can't pronounce her name. I have a crush on her now. Golshitfeda Farhani? I'm
Hold on.
sorry.
It's okay. We forgive you.
I fucking butchered it. What a great movie. So much fun. Mindless action.
Oh, I
but
can't say that
so
either.
much fun. Yeah, no, it's
Farahani, I think, is how you would say her last name.
yeah. And what a great she's been in a lot of things, but she's been in
Yeah.
quite a few English or American stuff too. But yeah, she was great. Chris Hemsworth, I mean, yeah.
He's
I always had a crush on Chris Hemsworth.
I mean, how do you not? How do you know what? Chris Hemsworth is one of those guys where I'm like, I think you're adorable. And for years I was just like, look, he's very physically attractive. But I never was like, I don't have a crush on him or anything like that. Until I watched Thor Ragnarok. And then all of a sudden I was like, I want to marry you.
Yeah, and then he did Vacation.
Ooh, Ghostbusters.
Oh, and like, he's funny. He seems
so funny.
Yeah, he seems like he'd be a cool guy to hang out and go to have a beer with.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I would have a beer with him. 100%.
Okay, so let's get on. So welcome to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast, live every Wednesday at 9 p.m. We come on here and record our podcast live. So how this works is we start the show by reviewing our movie that we previewed last week. So we took this week to watch it, in this case 2 movies again, and have now come back on here to review them. And then after that we preview a new movie, and this week we are previewing the 1999 action horror Deep Blue Sea. Actually, Deep Blue Sea on Rotten Tomatoes classifies it as a sci-fi. So
I could see that.
Yeah. So we are going to review last week's preview, our summer drive-in double feature, our first of 3, Mannequin 2 on the Move, and Weekend at Bernie's 2 shortly. And then we'll do Deep Blue Sea after that. And then during this week, we will watch Deep Blue Sea and come back next week and review it.
Oh boy, will we ever.
So before we get into these movies, it's because it's a little longer because it's 2 openings. So you have a couple minutes here if you want to go get a drink, make some popcorn. This is our reaction to the 2 movies.
So they're packing him up.
I think I'm gonna sit down, thanks. Get in there.
And heading for the islands.
Whoa, gentlemen! Whoa, let's go! Rich! Claire? Get out of the way!
He's got style.
What is he now?
You're so cute.
He's got charm.
How did you happen to meet old Bird?
In the conga line.
He's just got no soul.
I just saw a dead man walking on the bottom of the ocean. Uh-oh.
But that never stopped Bernie.
Bernie? Oh, Parasailer?
Who is that?
He's our boss. He's dead. Don't worry about it.
From being the life of the party.
See, Arnold, he's not afraid of you. You're the bravest guy I've ever met.
Weekend at Bernie's too. No one does dead like Bernie.
That looks really bad.
It looks terrible. It looks so incredibly terrible.
All
So terrible.
right, let's do our prediction for Weekend at Bernie's 2.
I think I'm gonna hate it a lot.
All right, maybe Mannequin 2 looks better.
In a faraway kingdom,
Do not draw that sword unless you intend to use it, sir.
a dashing prince and his lady fair ran into a few problems.
A symbol of our eternal love.
You have cursed my gift!
Frozen forever until she meets a true love from another land.
And that is the legend of Hauptmann Konig's enchanted peasant girl.
1,000 years later, Jason Williamson started a new job.
2.5 billion women in the world, and I'm trying to score with a statue. There is definitely something wrong with me. Gesundheit.
Dankeschön.
You're welcome.
Why are you running?
Why am I running? Why are you moving? Why, God!
After a 10-century snooze,
The lights are beautiful. How does it all work?
Well,
she's got some catching up to do.
it's diet soda. No calories, no sugar, no caffeine.
Oh, we had something like that back home called water.
I have to savor Hollywood.
No one messes with Count Spritzel.
I thought Cupid aimed for the heart.
Hey!
I learned this from the Marines.
You were in the Marines?
Yes, they were looking for a few good men, and so was I.
Jason, come on!
Mannequin on the move.
Stranger things have happened.
Where have you been all my life?
This is gonna be rough.
Wow, that's 2. I
Should
did
be
like
fun.
the Diet Coke bit.
Mm.
Yeah, we had something like that if we had water. Prediction?
I think I'm in for a double feature of terrible.
Yeah, and it's a double feature that's going to cost money.
Yeah.
Ouch.
I mean, maybe they'll have moments in these movies that don't totally suck.
Maybe.
I'm not that hopeful though.
I didn't realize I made the trailers those long.
It's okay.
That was painful just watching that amount of the trailer.
Truth.
Okay. Okay, yeah, your initial thoughts.
I decided to torture myself, so I watched these back to back.
Oh,
Right? Yeah, no,
God.
I did that. And worse than that, because I watched Weekend at Bernie's 2 on YouTube. something was labeled as Weekend at Bernie's 2, but it wasn't Weekend at Bernie's 2, but it had Jonathan Silverman in it. So I started watching like the first 15 minutes of that, and I was like, this makes no sense. There is no Bernie. What the fuck? So then I found another one, and then I clicked on that, and then I was like, oh, okay, here's the Bernie movie. This is fine. But it was a lot of terrible. Like this was 3 hours, three and a bit hours of my life that I will
Yeah.
never get back. It's gone, just gone, and I am mad, so mad.
Yeah. I spread it out over 2 nights.
Smart
Yeah.
move.
Okay, first, I didn't even want to watch these movies. I was okay with Weekend at Bernie's 2, and by okay, I mean I'm like, let's get this over and done. But by the time I got to the next day, I'm watching Mannequin 2.
Mm.
And I was sometimes amused or nostalgia amused with Bernie 2. And I'm not saying I liked it, but I loathed Mannequin 2.
Mannequin 2 was such a wasted time,
Oh,
waste of money, waste of it was just a waste.
and
Such a waste.
I'd like to point out, I liked all the actors from Mannequin 2.
Oh, me too.
I despised the movie.
Mhm.
Like, man, but maybe if Andrew McCarthy came back with Kim Cattrall, but they didn't.
Yeah, no.
They didn't even have the decency to put Christy Swanson in a swimsuit.
But they put her in that incredibly short dress.
That's true. They did do that.
It literally went like just under her ass.
Yeah, didn't help though.
No.
Like, don't tell mom what we did. Like, don't tell mom the babysitter's dead.
Yeah.
Encino Man, Idle Hands, even Hacker. I know you liked Hackers more than I did.
I liked Hackers.
I would watch those so many times before I would even think about watching these.
I would watch Steel Dawn again.
Yeah. There is a quote. Okay, there is a quote from How I Met Your Mother. I don't know if you've ever seen that show.
Yes, I have.
And they were fighting on who gets to pick the comedy movie or something along those lines. And Lily wants to pick it. But Ted warns Marshall that Lily doesn't know humor and reminds him about the time they heard Lily laughing and they thought she was watching Weekend at Bernie's, but it turned out to be Weekend at Bernie's 2. It pretty much sums up this movie.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So these are.
I need to tell you though, like I think I softly chuckled. Like no, it wasn't even a chuckle. It was like a scoff, like a humorous scoff. I did that once for each movie.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah.
And I was like, these are not funny.
And I have a note when we go through, and I don't know if it was actually funny or just happy the funniest thing happening in this movie. Yeah, so I have Weekend at Bernie's 2 first here.
Let's go.
So we can go through it and pinpoint where it all went wrong because we're in agreement here. All wrong.
All wrong.
Okay.
So wrong. So many levels. Just terrible.
All right, get up there, Bernie. There he is, up in the corner. Okay.
Let's go.
Larry Wilson and Richard Parker are at a Manhattan morgue where they see their deceased CEO, Bernie Lomax. And this is where I wish they ended the movie.
Yeah.
We got to see Andrew McCarthy, Jonathan Silverman, and Bernie. That would have been fine.
That's all we need. That's all we needed.
A little bit of nostalgia.
Yep.
That was it. Larry falsely claims Bernie as his uncle so he can get some of Bernie's possessions, including Bernie's credit card. At the insurance company, Larry and Richard are quizzed by their boss and Arthur Hummel, the company's internal investigator, who asks the two if they have the $2 million that Bernie embezzled. They deny knowing where the money is, but their boss believes that they are lying and fires them. He also sends Hummel after them, giving him 2 weeks to prove their guilt. And if he can't, he will get fired because this all happened under his nose. I will say the movie picks up right after the first movie.
Yes.
And this is
I give them points for that.
Years? Yeah. But what happened with because weren't they staying at the
They were in the Hamptons.
Yeah, and they're gonna stay there for a bit.
They were gonna stay, and I think they did end up staying for the weekend, but I guess because they had to, because the police were like, you can't leave.
Right.
So I guess when the Hamptons police were like, we're gonna send the body to, because I guess it's a murder and the Hamptons police aren't equipped for it, to Manhattan. I guess they went because they were released at that point. I'm gonna assume. They never explain it.
What happened to Gwen? I guess Catherine Mary Stewart was
gone.
like, no, thank you.
She broke They broke up. They
Yeah.
broke up as soon as the weekend was done.
Yeah. As
She
soon as
was
she
like,
saw the
"Look."
script.
Yeah. She's like, "I'm not
Um,
coming back for this shit."
yeah, no, I don't need money
Yeah.
that bad.
No.
Over dinner, paid for with Bernie's credit card in one of its many uses, Larry tells Richard he found a key to a safe deposit box in St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands, and asks Richard if he will use the computer at work to see if the $2 million is in Bernie's account. At first, Richard refuses, but ultimately gives in. Meanwhile, in the U.S. Virgin Islands, a voodoo queen named Mobu is hired by mobsters to find the $2 million Bernie stole. She sends 2 servants, Henry and Charles, to go to New York, get Bernie's body, use a voodoo ceremony to reanimate him. This is all true if you've never seen this movie. And bring him back to her so he can lead her to the money.
Mm-hmm.
Their attempts to bring Bernie back are plagued by accidents. They prepare in a bathroom at a sleazy porno theater for the voodoo ceremony. One of the nicer sleazy porn theaters I've ever seen in a movie.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
I don't see a lot of porno theaters in movies or in real life, so I mean,
No.
I'm going off word of mouth.
Yeah. Did you ever watch that HBO show, The Deuce?
No, I don't think I have.
Oh, it has a porno theater, and
Mm.
it was gross. But having lost a sacrificial chicken, they use a pigeon instead. This limits Bernie's ability to walk toward the hidden money. He only moves when he hears the music. Okay, so when they lose the chicken and go crawling on the porn theater floor,
Uh-huh, ew.
ugh, eating the one guy's eating popcorn.
This is that entire scene. I was just like, this is so weird and just not even okay, yes. Trying to reanimate a dead body in a public bathroom, regardless of where it is, with 117 candles lit, because I remember that.
Yeah.
It was like, that doesn't look like 117 candles, but that's fine. And then they lose a chicken. And then it was very uncomfortable when I saw that guy holding the chicken and just petting it. And I was
Yeah.
like, this feels so wrong.
Yeah, and he's like, "This is my chicken."
Yeah.
I was like,
It was just, it was, but I'm like, you're crawling, regardless of it being a porn theater.
A
Okay.
regular movie
A
theater would be
regular movie
gross.
theater is going to be gross on the
Yeah.
floor. So my question is, why are we not getting any of that gross? They're just like trudging along. And I'm like,
Yeah. It was
there's
weird.
nothing realistic about this entire, like I say that about the dead body being reanimated scene, but what like there's nothing realistic about it. Nothing.
No.
Nothing.
No.
Yeah.
At the 42nd Street Grand Central subway station, Henry and Charles sued and abandoned him to chase a man who stole their boombox.
Mhm.
Later that night, Larry and Richard sneak into their office building to check Bernie's account, only to find that Bernie is the only one that can open it. They are soon arrested by officers for breaking and entering. After their release, they find Bernie, whom they believe is still dead, stuff him into a suitcase, bring him to them to the Virgin Islands, and put him into a small refrigerator in their hotel. Actually, Hummel, the guy, gets them released so he can follow them and hope that they lead him to the money. And if they're an insurance company, wouldn't they have insurance for this type of situation?
Yes. Yes, they would have. They would still investigate to see if
Yeah,
they could
yeah,
retrieve the
that's yeah,
money, but
yeah.
although I will say this is probably the worst plan. Like who sits there and goes, "We just need to bring a dead body to the
Yeah.
US Virgin Islands to get into the safety
Although
deposit
there
box."
was one of those guffaws or chuckles when they were trying to get him in the suitcase,
Mm.
and he was like just stomping on the fucking thing, and then when he opened it and it stunk.
Oh,
m-
yeah, no, the spray, and I
yeah,
was like, "Oh," I smiled at that.
yeah, that might, yeah,
I did not emit a sound, but I smiled
no,
at it.
but yeah, okay. Unbeknownst to the two, Hummel is following them to recover the embezzled cash. The guys successfully use Bernie to open his safety deposit box, but they only find a map. Um, okay, so here they resort back to the original movie tactics, moving around with Bernie. And I'm sure there were simple people in 1993 that were like, "Hey, that's how Bernie moved in the first movie." But yeah, nothing. And the whole they skipped over a lot in this plot. I don't care.
Valid. Valid.
But the banker didn't even notice that Bernie had 2 left hands. I noticed. I
Yep.
was barely following this movie.
I have never been so bored in my life watching a movie.
Oh, I
I'm on the board.
was. the next night when I watched the second feature.
But I didn't notice the two left hands. I think I was too busy rolling my eyes. Because
the
it's
way
still
he
a
was
dead
bare
body that
spinning.
smells. It
Yeah.
smells like rotting flesh.
Yeah.
At that point, yeah, it's now been what, a week that he's been dead?
Yeah.
No amount of air freshener is gonna fix
No.
that.
No.
No, but we'll suspend our disbelief. It's fine. But through this entire thing, I was just like, there's a story, there's a plot, but it literally feels like they just had a series of like gags and slapstick moments
Yeah, that they
that they
thought would be
wanted to
funny.
bring together.
Yeah.
So they were like, well, we'll make the story this, and then that explains why we have Bernie walking around.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they came up with him getting like the crotch shot with the tree and all
Yeah.
that type of stuff first, and then worked on the story.
And then they were like, but why would Bernie be in a Caribbean island?
Yeah.
The
Walking
money he
underwater.
stole. Yeah. Why would he be walking underwater? Why would he stop walking underwater? Anyways, this whole movie made me
Meanwhile,
angry.
Meanwhile, Larry befriends a lovely native girl named Claudia and gives her the map. Later, he and Richard are captured by Henry and Charles, who take them to Mobu. Before this, another half-hearted chuckle of getting Bernie into the car by the two island guys, and then Richard and Larry grabbing their his feet and he comes flopping out of the car.
I did not laugh at that.
And I don't know if it. Oh, I didn't laugh. I mean,
I don't think I even smiled. I think I was just like, oh, okay. Because I'm pretty sure they already did that with like a golf cart in the first movie.
They did do that with a golf cart. That's what I mean. They were just kind of rehashing.
We're just recycling the first movie.
Yeah, I'm sure the writers were like, you know what we could do? We could do everything in the first movie, just switch it up a bit. Bigger car, different boat.
Beach.
Yeah, different beach. With one of the mobsters holding a gun to his head, she forces Richard to drink a poisonous potion and tells them they must find a map by sundown to get the antidote.
Mm-hmm.
When Larry, Richard, and Claudia are reunited, they are shocked to discover that Bernie is moving and realize he is leading them towards the 2 million. To keep him moving, they put a Walkman with headphones on his head. As Bernie finds a large chest underwater, the resulting excitement causes Larry to accidentally shoot Bernie in the head with a spear gun, destroying the headphones. That might have been the funniest part of the movie. And it wasn't that funny. It wasn't a laugh. And again, I don't know if it's because it was such a bad movie that the funniest part that happened, I found the most amusing.
That was not the part that I made the humorous scoff at.
Oh no?
No.
We haven't hit that yet?
We haven't hit that part yet. we're like 3/4 of the way through the movie.
Yeah.
I still have not made a humorous sound.
Yeah. They attempt to bring Bernie back to the surface, but he will not let go of the chest, which is too heavy to hoist out of the water. Do they fill Bernie up with air to raise him up? They don't explain in the synopsis. It just skips to.
I think they might.
I think whoever wrote this was just forced to do it against their will. They try to just do it as fast as they could. They end up attaching Bernie to a horse carriage with playing music. Like this, Bernie's feet wasn't even touching the ground as they were moving. Like not even going down the hill. I know that he probably, but even going along.
Yeah.
And they're trying to get him to go faster. Like his feet weren't even touching the ground. It was so bad.
It was so terrible.
It seems to work at first, but when they go downhill, the carriage goes out of control. Eventually, the carriage ends up at Mobu's place.
Mm-hmm.
Very convenient. Bernie hits a large tree branch and spins into a somersault before knocking out Mobu. The crash also causes Bernie to drop the chest on the ground and it breaks open. Larry tries to scoop up the money, but is caught by Hummel, now slightly unhinged upon seeing an undead Bernie walk. And he gives the 2 million to him. With Mobu out of commission, Claudia's father, a medical doctor, says that he can cure Richard if he can get the blood of a virgin, which Larry confesses he can provide. The mobsters and Mobu are arrested. Ugh. And if you're listening, this movie was as stupid as it sounds.
Yes, and I will tell you where I made the humorous scoff. It's when Larry sheepishly admits that he is a virgin.
Oh, the virgin thing? Yeah.
That was the only time. That was the only time I was like, huh. That was it.
Was this the movie? I can't remember if it was this one or Mannequin that they said there were 4 well-known screenwriters that had to make this movie, that did this movie.
I don't know. But if
Uh,
this is it, that makes me
yeah.
sad.
Larry confesses to Richard that he returned the 2 million to the insurance company, but only after learning Bernie actually stole 3 million. Larry and Richard used some of the remaining money to purchase the yacht, a yacht crewed by attractive woman. How
Mhm.
did he know? He put a pile of money under a palm tree leaf and then gave the money right away. Like, how did he steal or keep 1 million exactly and give 2?
Apparently, he can count in a hot second with just, like, by just looking at piles of money. Who knew?
Yeah.
New skill unlocked.
Meanwhile, Bernie is last seen leading Henry and Charles, who have been transformed into goats by voodoo, through a carnival parade to an unknown fate. So I thought Larry, Andrew McCarthy was Larry, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I thought he was getting a romantic plot this time.
No.
No, he was just a douche.
Yep.
And he didn't even grow from the experience.
Nope.
He's like, fuck it, I'll just get a yacht with some bottles. The Iron Gangsters and turning to goat thing. One thinking the goat, the other, they came across a goat, and he, as they were turning into goats, he thought a goat was attractive, and the one was
Yes.
making goat noises.
That one took me a hot second to, like, clue in when he made the joke about, like, "Ooh, she's hot," or something, and they look
Yeah.
behind them, and there are, like, 2 goats standing there, and then I was like weird,
Yeah.
and then I went, "Oh, right, turning into a goat, gotcha."
Yeah, this movie was not good.
No, not even a little bit. I've been bored. I've been bored during some of these movies that we have watched
Mhm.
for this, but I have never in my life hated the act so fervently of watching a movie, because I was sitting there and I was like, "You literally did not care about the story. You did not care about whether or not how far-fetched this was. You did
No.
not care about how poorly this was acted." Like, and
No.
that makes me angry because you have a really good cast.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
this just felt like a weird, over the top, um I slapstick comedy, like Three Stooges gone boring.
Yeah, and I love Three Stooges.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, and it made money, it made a profit. Like, they were gonna
Yeah.
do a 3.
Yeah. And, like, don't get me wrong, I get it. But still, there was no reason for this.
No.
This was I Wanna Buy a Beach House movie. That's what the actors
Yeah.
came because they were like, "I wanna buy a beach house, so let's make this money."
Yeah. Alright, well, how about your score and review?
Um It's a 2.
Ooh.
I never wanna see this movie again. I never wanna talk about it again. I never wanna be reminded of this movie again. It's terrible. Like, there I if it was nostalgic and I laughed, even at the awkward moments, so be it, but there was nothing redeeming about this. Not as bad as Steel Dawn, but
No.
Steel Dawn was still more entertaining than this.
Yeah, but I think I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd watch this over Steel Dawn.
Yeah. I'd watch Steel Dawn over this. To be
Yeah?
perfect yeah. Steel Dawn was more
Well
entertaining because you can make fun of more stuff. This
well,
just
there
was
yes,
ridiculous.
yeah, yeah.
You
Yeah,
know what I
because you
mean?
couldn't even make fun of it because it was just bad.
No, it was just bad.
Like,
Like,
they
it's
weren't
not even kitschy.
trying. Steel Dawn was trying.
Steel Dawn was
These
trying.
guys were not trying. Weekend at Bernie's
No.
2 was not trying. No, yeah,
They
you're right.
phoned this entire thing in,
Yeah.
and I feel insulted. I'm like, "Y'all motherfuckers wasted my time."
Yeah, yeah.
So that's a 2. It's
A
appallingly
2.
horrible.
Okay, my score. Okay, Weekend at Bernie's 2 felt like an excuse by a movie studio who had to get rid of some money and fast. The cast and crew were like, why not? Free vacation and a payday. Wasn't thought out well. I would have made it that the voodoo thing backfired and Bernie became a zombie and was running amok on the island, turning people into zombies. That should have been the movie. Like
Yeah.
Weekend at Bernie's meets Shaun of the Dead. But they didn't do that.
Nope.
Some almost forced chuckles from transporting Bernie. The Hummel character, played by Barry Bostwick, Spin City, had a couple of moments. It's just one of those movies when you're sitting on the couch, it's raining, you come across it, you kind of remember, you start, and only by morbid curiosity do you finish it, if you finish it. And then immediately ask yourself, why? Where I might down the road with the first film, I will not be spending another weekend with Bernie 2. I pray my memory does not fail me and let me forget it. I give it 2.5.
Solid.
Why I liked it initially and why you do or do not like it now, or why you like it. You liked it initially and why you don't like it now.
I remember it being funny. Now, maybe it's just because my humor has changed. But I remember liking it because I thought it was funny. Now, I don't know what that means because I was like, I did not find this funny at all. So I think I just aged out of it, maybe.
Yeah. I don't know if I did. Like, it would have been in the early 90s realm of comedy that was better than nothing. Like, watched it when I was a kid. I think even back then, watching it might have been like, it's all right. That type of
Yeah.
thing. Like, And then more funnier movies came along as the years went by. And I did not return to it. And now I know why.
Yeah, it's a pretty solid. It's a no for me, dog.
Yeah. Now we go to buy it, rent it, stream it, skip. I gotta get like a jingle. Okay, if you liked it then, you should go ahead.
Skip it.
I said
hold on to the memory, just skip it.
I said if you really remember liking it, just for clearance and justification, stream it. If you remember thinking it was okay or maybe it was all right, yeah, skip it.
If you remember liking or loving this movie, just hold on to that memory. Don't try to refresh it.
That might
Don't watch
be
it again.
But someone's gonna be like, yeah, I remember, like, they're wrong. We're not.
And you know what? If
We're
they
really
do that,
not.
it is against our advice, and that's fine. If you want to put yourself through that, God bless. I'm all for it. Good for you. But I warn everybody else, don't do it. Don't. It's an hour and a half. You will never get back.
No.
It's
If you have
gone.
never seen it,
Don't
I
do
would
it.
say skip it.
Skip it.
Like, unless you watch Weekend at Bernie's and thought that was a masterpiece and somehow missed this fucking gem. But no,
Unless
I would
you're a
say
completer. Like if you're one of those people that once you've watched part 1, you need to
Yeah.
watch part 2, 3, 4, or however many there are. If you're one of those people that needs to finish the series, finish the series. Go ahead.
Yeah. Stream it though.
But stream it. Don't pay for
Yeah,
this
don't
shit.
pay for that. Yeah, you'll be
No.
so upset. All right. Could it be rebooted or reimagined today? Well, I
No.
just said how I would do it. I'd make it a zombie movie, but that's me.
I mean, that's one way to do it, but we don't need it.
No.
don't
As
need it.
is or within that realm of as is, please don't.
No, you'd have to completely rewrite this.
Yeah, completely.
Different genre, different plot.
Yeah.
Like I would even keep different actors, like not have like the same Larry and Richard coming
Yeah.
down for the second movie. I'd scrap all of that. But essentially you're not rebooting, remaking, or reimagining. You're just making a whole different movie with
Yeah.
one of the same characters.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now with that.
That was quick like bunny.
Yeah, that was pretty quick.
This is shit. There's nothing else you need to say. It's a series of gags that aren't funny. And then it's done.
Yeah. And there is Mannequin 2.
Oh, Jiminy Crickets.
All right. Now on to this cupcake that someone found in a dumpster a month later. Fuck. Ew. In the year 1391, Prince William of the small Germanic kingdom of Haptom Kong. It's like a
Konig?
They do a Konig. Yeah, falls in love with a peasant girl named Jessie. Okay, for everyone that listening and has not seen this movie, this is every mid-90s sitcom, Full House, Urkel, Step by Step, Doogie Howser Can't Lose, Perfect Strangers, Hanging with Mr. Cooper, all wrapped into a G-rated movie. every
Mhm.
silly stunt, and somehow worse. I would watch those shows before I watch this movie again.
Oh, 100%, and also the music. I happened to
Ugh.
make a note. I'm like, music is super 90s sitcom.
Oh my god.
So 90s sitcom. I was like, this is terrible.
And where silly words like the kun and where it's considered like side splitting. It's silly words.
Yeah.
Having a mole with a giant hair hanging out of it's comedy gold.
As an overreaching thought for this entire movie, it felt like it was made for 8-year-olds.
Yeah, I don't even know if they'd like it.
I don't know if that, but it felt
But
like they
that's
were, like, reducing the humor
yeah. How do we
to
get more toddlers in the theater?
basically.
Yeah.
I was like, "You're making this for the ones who think fart sounds are funny."
Yeah.
Like, although I know a lot of
It's
adults
yeah.
who find farts hilarious. Um, but that's essentially like, it's that kind of really basic, simple
Yeah.
humor, and I was just like, "Really, guys? This is the best you could do?"
Yeah. Okay. Not approving of their romance, the queen plots with her court sorcerer Spretzel.
Mm.
I could just see the hacks. Let's call him Spretzel, and they're like, "That's gold." Or they're high as a kite laughing. Well, I don't know. Spretzel, who enchants a necklace intended for Jessie. Putting on the necklace, she is transformed into a wooden statue, and the magic prevents William from freeing her. He is told Jessie will be frozen for 1,000 years and can only wake earlier if a true love from another land removes the necklace. Angry, William declares the kingdom will then also be cursed for 1,000 years. Perpetual rainfall begins. I too felt cursed.
I realized after that very first scene, I was like, "This is," well, no, my first thought was I didn't realize they had, gold lame in medieval times, but also this is basically like a almost cartoon simplified, like, pantomime version of medieval times, and I was just like, "Is the rest of the movie gonna feel like this? Because
It sure does.
this is really shitty," and then it did.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it was
And
fantastic.
how the hell does he get the magic ability to curse the curse?
Who the fuck knows?
This movie is already ridiculous. I hate you, movie. I hate you so much. 600 years later, 1991. Wasn't it supposed to be 1,000 years later?
It was supposed to be 1,000 years. I think it is 1,000 years.
Okay, so
So
someone's
that synopsis,
okay.
somebody's fucking with you.
Yeah. Hauptmann, whatever, is a poor country enduring endless rain and financial hardship.
Mm.
Jesse stands as a museum piece in the castle where the tour guide recites the fairy tale of the enchanted peasant girl. To boost tourism, Count Gunther Spretzel sends the statue to be displayed at a dramatic stage presentation at the Prince and Company department store in Philadelphia, celebrating that country's history and culture. Spretzel is secretly the descendant of the sorcerer. Secretly, it's the same fucking actor. Fucking pine cones. Jesus Christ. And plots to use the fairy tale to make a soon-to-be awkward Jesse his bride and then escape to Bermuda with his henchmen, using stolen crown jewels to fund his retirement. This is already a lot of work to get a check.
Yep.
I'm just saying. If you have the crown jewels and they're worth like a fortune, you could probably find a woman or two that, isn't a wooden
Yeah.
statue. Yeah, there's a bit of obsession by this dude.
Yeah,
He
it's a
already
little weird.
he probably has already diddled this mannequin.
Oh god.
Yeah, gross. She should have
That
looked
is
yeah.
terrible to think about. Why would you say that? Why?
Count Pretzel's a diddler. In a Germantown section, I didn't even know it was a Germantown section of Northwest Philadelphia. Although they did say 600 years, so this person's fucking with me.
Well, I think that's just a neighborhood, Germantown.
Oh,
Probably
okay.
where Germans, like German immigrants, congregated, but I mean, I live in Little Portugal, so
Jason Williamson, a descendant of William, again, same actor,
Mhm.
lives with his mother who runs a matchmaking service. He begins work at Prince and Company, where store manager Mr. James makes him assistant to visual merchandising head Hollywood Montrose,
Mm.
who is directing the Enchanted Peasant Girl presentation. Mr. James, played by Stuart Pankin, who was our sheriff in Arachnophobia.
Yes.
He's such an awesome actor. He plays
I
such
love him.
a good douche.
He really is. He really is. But also, can we just touch really quickly on how ridiculous it is that a department store is doing a theatrical presentation for historical items?
Yeah.
Anybody else? Super weird? No? Just me? Okay.
And the fact that Williams or James got
Jason
credit
Williamson.
for putting the store's clothes on the mannequin, and he was like, "That's brilliant." I'm like, "I thought that's what you're fucking doing." Like, what's the point
I
of
was like, I
bringing
don't
her?
understand. Is she just supposed to stay in whatever they dressed her? Then why is it in a department store?
Yeah, should be at a museum.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. And again, is it Misha Taylor?
Meshach.
Misha Taylor. Yeah, like I liked all the actors in the movie that were in the movie.
Yeah.
I just hated this movie.
They didn't give them much to work with.
No. When the delivery truck with the oh fuck, that country's artifact crashes over the Schuylkill River,
Sure.
Hollywood and James arrive on the scene. Seeing a female figure fall into the river, Jason saves her, only then realizing it is a statue from Europe, and obviously restores Jessie to life briefly by touching her necklace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're also introduced to the three henchmen, also comedy gold. And if you're listening to this and that sounds sarcastic, good, because I was laying it on real thick there.
Those guys.
Yeah, and you could have had them be goofy and funny, but they went to such a cartoon place. Like, not a Looney Tunes place, like a shitty
No,
cartoon.
no. It was very, very much vamped up and like camp.
Yeah.
Like when they need to hitch a ride. Why are you getting naked?
And they're getting naked for the
For
that
the
just
dump
happens to
truck.
have female dump truck drivers.
Yeah. So I was like,
Luckily.
what?
It was so
And they're just like dancing in the middle of the lane. I'm like, you realize if you stand in the middle of a lane of traffic, they're gonna stop for you. You don't have to take off your pants.
No.
It was very like, I was like, are they go-go dancers? Because those are go-go dancing moves. It was all very just weird.
Yeah, it was
Just and then all of a sudden the drivers, because they get into the front bucket of the garbage truck, and then they decide to lift them and toss them back into the back of the truck, and I was like, but why?
Because I thought they were excited to see the muscle men and
Yeah,
everything.
I was like, so watch them while you drive. That makes more sense. But
Yeah.
apparently I'm talking crazy. Who knew?
Learning oh wait, where am I here? Romantically drawn to Jessie, he takes her to the store where he removes her necklace with ease and is shocked when she comes to life. Yeah. Okay, where are we? Learning she is in the future, Jessie concludes Jason is William reincarnated. Jason shows Jessie the modern world, and they have a whirlwind romance, sharing their feelings, dreams, and cultures with each other. I hate this plot as almost as much as I hated this movie.
I don't. This entire thing was fucking useless. It was fucking terrible. It was fucking useless. And I swear to God, I have seen after school specials acted better than this.
Yeah.
Do you remember the show Ghost Rider?
Ghost Rider. No.
It's about this kid who finds this book, like a notebook, and it's haunted. And so the ghost writes in the book, and the kids,
Oh, that sounds familiar.
like talk to right. Anyways, all of the actors on there, terrible. They were all terrible, like kid actors.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what this movie felt like. Like everybody was a terrible kid actor. And
Yeah.
it makes me mad because these are some very talented people and they just gone done fucked it up. That's it.
Yep.
Especially in this little montage, because I don't know of any popular pop songs that are also ballads that start with a harpsichord intro that lasts for approximately 2 minutes, where a new trend for medieval dancing takes place. What?
Yeah.
Anyways.
The next morning, unaware of its magic, Jessie puts on her necklace and is frozen again. Of all the people who should have known the necklace was magical and cursed,
That would be her. She's supposed to know because she was cursed with the necklace. They put on the cursed necklace.
Yeah. Heartbroken, unsure what to do, Jason returns the statue to the store. I was kind of hoping to just throw it in the closet and this movie would take a really dark and morbid turn. Something, some weird S&M stuff, but something just to, I don't know. Admiring Jesse's necklace, Hollywood tries it on, becoming a statue and restoring her to life. Jesse doesn't give a shit and leaves to explore the mall. Pretzel's henchmen, henchmen find Hollywood, remove the necklace, then rush to find Jesse. The queen of that country then calls Pretzel, warning him she knows the crown jewels are missing. I did kind of, again, I don't know if it was just the funniest thing in the movie, but when someone was saying something mean to Spretzel or Pretzel, and then he was like, "What did he say?" And then they would make up something, and he'd be like, "Oh, that's okay then." I don't know if I found that amusing because it was such a bad movie. Oh, okay. Where are we here? Jason finds Hollywood and explains Jesse came to life. Hollywood believes him as this had happened 2 years prior. Did he say 2 years?
I don't know if he said 2 years.
Yeah. Recognizing Jason as William reincarnated, Spretzel tries to kill him. Seeing Spretzel's henchman, Jesse takes a go-kart and escapes to Jason's home, only for Spretzel and the authorities to follow Jason there. I hated this scene.
Yes.
How did she know how to drive the go-kart?
Nobody knows. How did she know that it even drives?
Yeah. Yeah. I was actually hoping that when she drove through the window, she'd be cut up so bad that the movie would end.
No such luck, my friends.
No, this
No
movie.
such luck.
Yeah, no, this movie maybe have like psychotic and sadistic thoughts of wanting it to end quicker.
It's fantastic.
The Count confronts Jesse alone and puts the necklace on her. Seeing her frozen again, Jason realizes the necklace is cursed and demands it to be removed. The cops, believing he is unhealthy, fixated on a mannequin, arrest him for theft because that's what you do.
Yep.
Spretzel wants to leave with Jesse, but James, the store manager, reminds him of the presentation for the next day. And if you're listening to this and thinking, hey, the movie must be almost over, how much worse can it get? It gets a lot worse.
True story.
The next day, Hollywood dresses up in his former U.S. Marine Corps uniform and bluffs a policeman into releasing Jason into his custody. At the end of the Pleasant Girl presentation, okay, let's go back a bit.
Okay, the taking him out, that was the only place I actually kind of laughed. When the cops start saying, "Hey," and he's like, "Just keep walking, just keep walking. Hey, just keep walking. Okay, now run." And then Hollywood's arms go up. I was like,
yeah.
God bless. You tried to stay butch for so long, and I appreciate you. I appreciate you, sir. That was the only time I kind of like humorously scoffed. It wasn't even a full laugh, but I was like, huh, yeah.
But the officer was fine with Hollywood signing him out. So why
Yeah.
did the officer change his mind?
I think probably because he actually read the signature. I have a feeling. We don't know for sure.
No.
An extreme close-up of the signature, probably, like, if he had signed it Hollywood, then we would know that, he's cluing in. We don't get that.
No.
Because story doesn't matter in this movie.
No. Okay. At the Enchanted Peasant Girl presentation, Jason removes Jesse's necklace on stage, restoring her to life in front of spectators who assume it is part of the show. Enraged, Spretzel takes Jessie and forces her into his hot air balloon. Okay, again, I don't want to, and I'm almost thinking why bother, but let's go back a bit. Hollywood does his big musical number, complete with bad cutaways and edits. Because it was supposed to be a live show, and it was like a bad early 80s music video.
Correct.
Like those were the when those camcorders started coming out, the big ones, those were the effects that came with the camcorder. And then Jason comes in on a rope like a pirate, and then they joust for a bit, him and Pretzel. Then Pretzel cuts him up pretty bad. And you're sitting there, just run him through already. Fucking end it.
Yeah. Yeah, longest, most pointless, just shitty fight scene ever.
Yeah, and if you're listening and wondering, well, run who through? Anybody.
Somebody.
Just fucking kill someone and end this movie.
Get her done. Get her done.
Spretzel takes Jessie and forces her into the hot air balloon. He was expecting a helicopter, but his cartoon henchman thought a balloon would be more romantic.
Uh-huh.
It sounds a lot funnier than it actually played on screen.
This is very true.
Because they were
'Cause
going
I
to
was
take
like,
the...
hot air balloon. Okay. Run
Because it
with
was
it. Sure.
all the way to Bermuda. That's where they were
Yeah.
going, right? Bermuda?
Yep. Bermuda.
Stupid henchman. Jason follows and they struggle. Jesse puts the necklace on Spretzel, repeating the ancient curse. Actually, Jason has a chance to throw him out of the balloon and decides not to, and Pretzel doesn't care and tries to throw him out. And yeah, now frozen, Spretzel is knocked out of the balloon and smashed into pieces on the street. Later, in his home country, the glued together Spretzel statue is the castle's centerpiece and inspires his own fairy tale. Meanwhile, newly married Jason and Jesse pick up a new necklace at Prince and Company before leaving on their honeymoon. With the rest of the cast, even the store manager in tow. Why? I don't care at this point. The movie's over. I couldn't be happier.
Yeah, they were trying to mimic
Yes.
the first Mannequin, and I'm like, I get it, but this is stupid.
Yeah, it's so bad. Okay.
Yeah.
So your score.
I'm giving it a solid 2.
Oh, 2 2s.
Yeah, 2 2s back to back. Just terrible. It's just like they never should have tried. This was so outlandish. And look, the first Mannequin with, the Egyptian princess who wants to explore the world and then gets turned into a mannequin or gets put into recreated, is reborn into a mannequin like 1,000 or 2,000 years later. I'm like, I get that.
Yeah.
Weird, but okay. This one, they take off the necklace, she wakes up, and then all of a sudden she's all like, I'm in love with you. Let's go. You're my favorite. Not scared, not freaked out, not trying to learn the world. Just like, yeah, let's go. Cheesesteak. Hells yeah. Eat the paper. Fantastic. There was no point to this movie.
No.
It was just shitty. Throughout it all, it was just a shitty movie that never should have been made.
No. Okay. 2. My score. All right. Mannequin 2 on the Move felt like torture. It was different than Steel Dawn because when I went into that movie thinking it was going to be awesome, after looking at this movie, watching the trailer, I knew it was going to suck. Sometimes we forget the 90s wasn't just grunge, hardcore rap, and Quentin Tarantino movies. It has a whole lot of cheese in it, like lots. Like the 80s were like, damn, this movie's cheesy.
Yeah.
And how did this movie cost $13 million 2 years before Weekend at Bernie's 2? Someone wasn't just skimming off the top. They were out there with a shovel with a big old smile on their face. Like I said, I like the actors in this. They all have gone on and did bigger and better things. Even the director who did Mac and Me, he also directed 2 of my favorites that I remember loving from the 80s, The Philadelphia Experiment and Ice Pirates. Although now I am wondering, it's not that this movie's cheesy, it's that this movie's too cheesy. It's bad, and it's nowhere comes close to being so bad it's good. Mannequin 2 on the Move, I hope it moves just far enough out of my memory that I forget all about this horrid experience, but as to not be so far that I forget hating this movie so much, I mistakenly watch it again. I gave it a 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Weekend at Bernie's was just a little... if I had a gun to my head, I would probably watch Weekend at Bernie's 2 before I watch Mannequin 2.
If I had a gun to my head and I had to choose between these 2 movies, I'd be like, just shoot me.
Yeah, maybe take the bullet.
Just shoot me. Because they're both so terrible and they're both pointless.
Oh, so
they're
dumb.
just pointless. And they're literally, both of them are just movies that created gags and tried to make a story around those gag moments.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why? This
Yeah.
is no good.
Yeah, so for our first drive-in double feature, this was not fun.
No.
I did not enjoy watching either of these movies.
Nuh-uh.
I liked one a little bit more, but the one I liked a little bit more, I hated. I just hated one a little more. Yeah. Yeah, and you hated both equally.
I
Yeah.
hated both equally. It was such a waste of because I can understand if there were plot holes and it was ridiculous, but the main characters had really great chemistry and it was funny. Like the jokes they were making landed. Nothing
Yeah.
was good about this.
No. No.
Nothing.
I really hope our next drive-in one is better.
God, oh, please, please, please.
We picked some doozies for those too, so
It's gonna be bad times. I can feel it.
can't be much worse because 2 is, if anyone, okay, for everyone that is listening, 2 is the bottom of the barrel for us. If we give a movie a 1, it is so bad it is good. It is that bad that, and I think Black Christmas 2006 we have given a 1,
Yes.
and I think the only other movie was Grizzly. You gave 1.5 because it was in between, you thought,
Yeah.
and I did give it a 1. But yeah,
Yeah.
these were not so bad it's good. These were just
No.
shitty.
Super shitty.
Oh, sorry. Why I liked Mannequin 2 initially. I'm positive I did not like it back then. I do like Christy Swanson. Like, if I could tell you a secret, I had a crush on Christy Swanson. Not,
No.
but it wasn't. I would have most likely been from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, not this movie.
100%. If
I
I
don't
was
think it would have been for Flowers in the Attic. No, she looked kind of,
No.
yeah.
That would have been
Yeah.
a weird one also to
Yeah.
have you crush, I'm just saying.
I'm pretty sure it was Buffy, not this movie.
Yeah, no, choose Buffy. Choose Buffy always.
Yeah.
Um,
Did
yeah, I
you
don't think
remember liking it back then, or do you?
maybe? Like, now I'm really starting to doubt my memories because I'm like, I remember thinking it was like a passable movie. Like, not great,
No,
not like
but
super good, but I thought it was like entertaining.
yeah, straight to
I
video good type thing.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
a straight to video movie of the week kinda,
Yeah.
cheesiness. None of that
Not,
came through this time.
no,
None of it.
no. Okay, so buy it, rent it, stream it, skip it. If you liked it then, you should
Skip it.
have yourself fucking committed because you're a wackadoo. Skip it. Fucking skip it. If you've never seen it,
Skip
skip
it.
it.
You don't need to know this. You
No,
don't need it.
even if you're a teenager and just saw Mannequin and was
Don't
like,
do
"Oh,
it.
I love it." Yeah, don't go, because I think we Mannequin, I can't remember what we each, but it was around the 4.5,
Yeah.
5.5 area. Because it had that nostalgia. It had that. These did not. Mannequin 2
It
didn't.
had Mannequin had a little bit of, you know, accept
There
the
we
not
go.
so goodness.
Yeah.
This had no charm. There was no
No.
charm.
Nope. No, and they didn't. I like the 2 actors, but they didn't even have the same chemistry as Andrew McCarthy and Kim
Oh,
Cattrall.
not even a little bit.
No. Yeah, so, yeah. So, could it be rebooted or reimagined today?
No, don't do it.
No.
It could be. Don't do it. There's no
Yeah.
reason for it.
No. No, just leave it alone.
Let it die.
Let it
Let
go
it
off into
die.
the sunset and die.
Yes.
All right.
I'm so mad I spent $5 on that.
Yeah.
So mad.
Oh.
Because even the ones that are kinda bad, but they're still, kind of entertaining, I'm like, "Fine, I can deal with $5." But this?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
mad.
Okay, well, for the podcast, thank you for listening or watching. I remember liking that movie podcast, and we reviewed Weekend at Bernie's 2 and Mannequin 2 on the Move. Please join us next time where we pick another movie we remember liking, preview it, and then watch it to see if we like it. For this, we are going to go into intermission, and then we are going to come back and preview Deep Blue Sea, which I have very high hopes for.
I have higher hopes for Deep Blue Sea than I did for Mannequin 2 and Weekend at Bernie's 2, so.
Yeah. All right, give me 1 second here. Do. Uh-huh. Yep. Intros. See if this works.
It's intermission time, folks. So hurry, hurry, hurry. Step right over to our refreshment center for the most extravagant array of refreshment goodies ever assembled under one roof. Enjoy breathtaking, mouth-watering goodies. Everything from a snack to a delicious full meal. At our refreshment center, you'll find a large variety of goodies to satisfy your hunger, your thirst, or your sweet tooth. So hurry, hurry, hurry. Visit our refreshment center now. The show starts in 3 minutes. The show starts in 2 minutes. The show starts in 1 minute. And now, on with the show.
And now on with the show. All right. Okay. Welcome back to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. I am so looking forward to this movie.
Me too.
After the last two. Wow.
This is why I'm going to wait a few days, maybe a week before I watch this movie, because I'm like, I don't want it to be tainted so that I watch it and I'm like, well, anything's better than the last two. So I
Yeah.
want to make sure I cleanse the last two from my brain before I watch this movie so I can give it an honest review.
Okay. So we're not going to go as in depth about the year this time because we just had the double feature, but we will still get into a bit of it. So let's talk a little about, okay, what do you remember about Deep Blue Sea?
I remember it having one of the greatest scenes ever where Samuel L. Jackson's head gets bitten off by a shark while he's
yeah.
giving a rousing talk to everyone.
That's
That
right.
was
Yeah,
the
I remember
important
that.
part. Yeah. That LL Cool J was in it, and I've always had a huge crush on him because he's sexy as fuck. But there was also a parrot. He also had a parrot in this movie, and I remember that. Also, I thought it was extra sexy that he was a chef in this. I remember there being a lot of explosions and a lot
Granny
of
Harlan.
Oh, fuck no. I would never do that. I would just die. I remember a lot of scenes being like that in this movie.
Well, the director, Rennie Harlan,
Sure.
he's made a ton of action movies. He's an
Mm.
action dude. Yeah, I remember big budget. Rennie Harlan complained that it was small, but it was pretty big. I remember great actors, sharks,
Mhm.
and really, this was the first big budget shark movie, maybe since Jaws: Revenge. Like, since
Yeah.
Deep Blue Sea, lots of shark movies, and I love it.
Oh.
Like, yeah. But before that, I can't even recall a 90s shark movie other than this one.
Actually, no, that was in the 2000s.
Yeah, it wasn't until after this that they started
Yeah.
to pop up, and then now very regularly, like the last 10 years, there's quite a few. And I was very excited at the time when it came out. I remember seeing the trailer, and I own the DVD, so I don't have it now. I don't know what happened to it. And I remember the sharks being cool. I remember the actor. I remember gore. Yeah, tense shark moments.
Yeah. I remember
Uh,
there being a lot of, "Oh, fuck, they're not getting out of this."
yeah,
Like, I remember a lot of that.
and
So
it
I'm
was
like, I'm
like
excited.
it was kind of like our ghost ship, that type of thing. Horror movie. It's a sci-fi, but it's a
Yeah.
creature feature movie, and good actors,
Mhm.
known actors. Yeah. So first, let's go over some box office. Dun, dun, dun. July 28th, 1999. So it was a summer. It had a budget of 60 million in 1999. It
Damn.
opened at 19, brought in 73, just over
Mm.
73, and internationally 91. So it wasn't as big as they were hoping, but 164. So it made I'm pretty sure it made its money back in theaters
Yeah.
and then DVD sales and rentals. Yeah. So
Mhm.
it was probably very profitable. Some other movies in July 1999, same week, because it came in at number 3 when it opened. First week, it also came up against Runaway Bride.
Yeah, you're never gonna win against Richard Gere and Julia Roberts at the end of the 90s. It would have
No,
been impossible.
no, and it was counter programming, obviously, of people
Yeah.
that, yeah. Number 2, in its third week, The Blair Witch Project. I was one of the morons that thought this was real found footage. Because I saw the internet thing, and I was like, oh my God.
I was one of the ones who didn't bother to watch it because of one scene where the snot's coming out of the girl's nose and you're getting a
Mm.
full shot of it. And I was like, "Nah, I'm good, thanks." 'Cause that
Have
grossed
you
me out.
never seen this movie?
I haven't seen it in its entirety. I've
It
seen good chunks of it, but I haven't watched the whole thing, like, right through.
For being, I don't know if it wasn't the first found footage movie, but it was really the first really mainstream.
Yeah.
Um, it was well done and it was creepy as shit.
Mhm.
Once you found out it was fake, not as creepy, but it was still a good horror movie, I think. There's Our Movie came in at
Yep.
number 3. The Haunting, which I
You know,
think we
I
should
love this
watch.
movie,
I remember
but I
loving
haven't
this movie
seen
too.
it in a really long time, so now I'm afraid, but I really, really love this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Inspector Gadget in its
I've never
second
watched
week.
that movie.
Me neither. American Pie in its fourth week. We loved American Pie 2.
Yeah, yeah, I feel like this is gonna be a classic.
Never seen Eyes Wide Shut.
Neither have I, but that's because, I have a particular hate for Tom Cruise.
Oh, yeah.
So everything he's in, I'm just kinda like, "Nah, I'm good."
Big Daddy. I did like this movie. I remember liking this movie.
I thought it was okay.
Star Wars Episode 1. I remember standing in line to see this movie for 4.5 hours to get in.
I felt like this movie was a crime against nature and shouldn't have been made.
I had mixed feelings for this movie. There were parts of it that were just phenomenal and amazing, and there were
Mm.
parts that were like, "Oh, Jesus Christ."
No, I watched this movie once, and that was more than enough, and I was so angry, and I was so frustrated, because all I remember thinking is, "How do you take so many really great actors and make them look like they can't act for shit?"
Yeah. Well, yeah, we could talk about that
We
forever.
have thoughts, we have thoughts. We'll have that conversation another day.
And number 10 in its 7th week. I haven't seen this movie in a long time. I remember liking it. Tarzan, the Walt Disney
I don't think
movie.
I've ever seen it.
It was pretty good. That's the one where they got Tony Hawk to do all the
Oh.
movement. So when he's going along the trees, he looks more cool,
Oh,
I
nice.
guess.
That's
Yeah.
smart.
Now, if you were making a blockbuster night back in July, you got Mel Gibson's Payback, which I do remember liking. October Sky, I remember liking. Blast from the Past.
Love that movie.
Tarzan with Casper Van. What's his name?
Casper Van Dien.
Casper Van Dien. Yeah,
He did a Tarzan.
Yeah, I don't think I watched this movie.
He's a prince.
I do like Casper Van Dien.
Yeah.
I love the bug movie. The fuck.
Starship
Troopers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
But he's made some pretty bad.
Oh, he's made some terrible things. It's terrible.
Striptease, Paul Bear, Baby Geniuses, City Hall. So yeah, a lot came out that week.
I remember watching Striptease and I was like, this is not very good. I don't think I watched Paul Bearer though.
I don't remember Paul Bearer.
I don't particularly like Gwyneth Paltrow. Is she in that?
Yeah, I think that's her.
Yeah, it looks like her. Also, Ross Geller doesn't need to be making movies.
Yeah, David Schwimmer, Barbara Hershey, and Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a big Gwyneth Paltrow fan either. All right. So I am going to read before we'll take turns doing the reviews and the trivia thing. But there are two big ones in here that I wouldn't fit on this.
Okay.
So special effects team headed by Walt Conti spent 8 months on the animatronic sharks. The number one thing about capturing sharks is getting their energy. They're always cruising kind of slowly. This is him saying it, not me.
Yeah.
Then they snap and just go with this incredible burst of energy. In that way, most of the time, sharks are somewhat lethargic. So probably our biggest challenge was replicating that speed and energy for those lunges. Also, a shark's jaw actually floats in their skulls, giving them a specific kind of motion. As far as I know, we're the first animatronics team to totally mimic the multifaceted jaw of the shark.
Nice.
Now, the filmmakers watched videos of real makos swimming frame by frame, then borrowed equipment from and technology that's typically used for Boeing 747s and built the sharks as self-contained units. The remote control machines had 1,000 horsepower engines, weighed 8,000 pounds, and swam on their own without the use of external wilds or apparatuses up to 30 miles per hour. That's impressive. They built 4.5 sharks, 3 15-foot makos, which played the first gen sharks, and 1.5 generation 2 sharks, which represent the first generation 26-foot long sharks. The effect was quite realistic, Stellan Skarsgård remarked. The first time I saw one of those animatronic sharks, I thought it was a real one. Samuel Jackson recalled when they first brought the animatronic shark into the lab, we were all in awe of the size of this machine. It was an actual real monster. I would walk up to it and slowly touch it, and they said it felt like a real shark. The gills moved, and it had a mind of its own sometimes. Rennie Harlan recounted one shark was sitting in McAllister's room, and just as we were getting the computer programming finished, all of a sudden it leapt up and went through the ceiling. All these 2x4s flying away like matchsticks. It gave us an idea of the awesome power of these creatures and how careful we had to be in terms of the cast and crew being close to them, and how the computer program had to have fail-safe procedures so nobody got hurt.
Jeez.
Yeah, so a lot went into this movie.
Yeah, I didn't realize they put that much work into the sharks. Impressive.
They do use CGI, but
yeah,
they built an 8,000 pound fucking swimming machine.
That's really, really fucking impressive.
Yeah. All right. So if you can, you might as well start because I just
I'll
did
kick it
too.
off. Yeah. So for one scene, Thomas Jane had to swim alongside a real live shark. He was only allowed to shoot this once. He had completed all of his other scenes.
So the producer's like, you can do it, but you have to finish the movie before you swim.
It wasn't even the producer. It was the production manager who was like, look,
yeah,
schedule wise, that needs to be the last scene he filmed for the entire movie.
Yeah, we're not doing it halfway through it.
Yeah.
He'll get eaten, and then we'll have to redo everything. At around 9 minutes, the license plate pulled from the shark's teeth is the same one found in the tiger shark in Jaws 1975.
Oh, that's super interesting.
Hmm.
The Gen 2 Mako is described as 45 feet long and 8,000 pounds. That would make it more than 3 times the length and 4 times heavier than the largest Mako shark ever recorded, and twice the size of the largest known great white shark. That's terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah, because even though it's like kind of embellished, that
Yeah.
still makes a great white like 26 feet long and 4,000 pounds.
Yeah. No, that's
that's
terrifying.
that's
That's
fucking terrifying.
mhm. Mhm. And people just go swimming in the ocean all willy-nilly.
Samuel L. Jackson happily signed on for the film as he had enjoyed his experience working with Rennie Harlan on The Long Kiss Goodnight.
Excuse me. Shot in the same Fox Studios Baja complex where Titanic 1997 was filmed, having made Cutthroat Island 1995 at sea, Rennie Harlan was determined to make this movie under the most controlled circumstances possible.
Yeah, he said, I remember liking Cutthroat Island.
Mhm.
And he said it was just actually anybody you hear making movies out in the ocean have the worst
Oh
fucking
yeah.
luck.
It's absolutely terrible for them and I'm like, guys, just rent a place, a complex that has a
Yeah.
tank and leave it at that.
Yeah. Co-writer Duncan Kennedy noted that in Jaws 1975, the shark was 20 feet long. So Rennie Harlan had to do Steven Spielberg one better. He increased our shark to 26 feet, Kennedy said.
Nice. 14 different visual effects houses worked on the film's sharks. That's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, they really wanted it to. I don't know how
They
well
were
it's
going for gusto.
aged, but I do remember back then thinking, this is
I
awesome.
remember back then it looked really good.
Yeah. Thomas Jane is actually afraid of sharks in real life. He said his fear of sharks came from watching Jaws. I like to meet the fucker that isn't afraid of sharks in real life.
Well, no, because there are some people who are like, "I'll go swimming with sharks.
Yes.
Sharks are only you just have to punch them in the nose."
Yeah, I don't
No,
think that
don't
works.
fucking do that.
Yeah.
Anyways,
They're the ones that they're the ones that don't
yeah,
get it. They're the ones that should get eaten.
but they never do.
They never do.
Oh,
Mm.
Duncan my bad. Duncan Kennedy was inspired to write the script after he witnessed a horrific shark attack on a beach near his home, after which there was really not much left of the victim. The tragedy contributed to a recurring nightmare of being in a passageway with sharks that could read his mind. That's
Yeah.
I that is a fucking twisted mind.
Yeah.
Jesus.
The only Samuel L. Jackson movie where another character uses his trademark. I didn't know this was. I know he uses it, but he uses his trademark word "motherfucker" where he does not. Preach, LL Cool J's character, says it towards the end when he, Susan, and Carter are in the tank filling up with water. He is trying to psych them up for the swim to the surface and starts out with the Lord's Prayer, then varies to "because I'm the meanest motherfucker in the valleys." Yeah, so Samuel L. Jackson does the same motherfucker in this movie.
No, I feel like he does.
I want to say he does too.
He does.
Does he?
This is where another character uses his trademark word. And he does not know, I swear. Because you know when this used to air on is it AMC?
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
A&E or one of the airings that was censored. They they kept using a different word. And I was like and I don't think it was like a mother something. It was like
Oh, yeah, they would have used, yeah.
multifunction or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's always
It
something
was something
stupid.
ridiculous that I was like, that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah. All right. Yay.
Woo!
Tale of the tape. All right, so Deep Blue Sea is considered a science fiction. It's rated R and comes in at a toothy 1 hour and 45 minutes.
Mhm.
Here are the taglines. How fast can you swim?
Valid.
Your worst fear is about to surface.
Also valid.
Welcome to the endangered species list.
Actually, that one's a good one.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Beneath the glassy surface, there's a world of gliding monsters.
That is not a good tagline for this movie.
No.
No. Great for an aquarium.
Yeah. Bigger, smarter, faster, meaner.
Yes.
Yeah. Synopsis. On an island facility, Dr. Susan McAllister, Saffron Burrows, is harvesting the brain tissue of DNA altered sharks as a possible cure for Alzheimer's disease. When the facility's backers send an executive, Samuel Jackson, to investigate the experiments, a routine procedure goes awry and a shark starts attacking the researchers. Now, with the sharks outnumbering their human captors, McAllister and her team must figure out a way to stop them from escaping to the ocean and breeding.
Mm.
The movie poster, not the DVD one that I've been showing. This is the actual movie poster. It's pretty exactly the same, except Deep Blue Sea's up top and the bigger faster's on the bottom. There's no difference.
It's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an effective poster.
Yeah.
There's the big shark. There's the doctor. There's the ocean. I mean, it's effective.
Yeah, it's a great, if it works, yeah. All right, so we will go back and forth on these, including the IMDb ones.
Ready for you.
So first, 115 critic reviews. It has 60% of Rotten Tomatoes. Now, over 250,000 audience views only give it 39%. So, critic consensus: Deep Blue Sea is no Jaws, but action fans seeking some toothy action could certainly do, and almost certainly have done, far worse for B movie thrills. All right, you can start off.
I'm gonna start with the fresh.
This is our fresh.
From Rotten Tomatoes, Deep Blue Sea is overall a bit of a silly shark film, but it's a really fun one with lots of action sequences. Thank you, Emily Black from Cinema Crazed. Original score 3 out of 5.
This is the finest, unabashedly campy B movie of the 90s. Kate Nibbs, The Ringer. No score.
Deep Blue Sea is about giant sharks eating people, and that's exactly what you get. Ian Nathan, Empire Magazine, score 3 out of 5.
It's the first summer blockbuster of 1999 that delivers more than its promotional trailer promises. Todd Anthony, South Florida Sun Sentinel. You can read all these if you like.
Okay, I'm in it. It's stupid and violent and proud of it. David Nusser, Real Film Reviews. A fat, irresistible Twinkie of a summer thriller. Cody Clark, Mr. Showbiz. Slam, bang, glug, glug, excitement. Joe Layden, MSNBC.
The movie is a skillful thriller directed by Rennie Harlin, who made Die Hard 2 and Cutthroat Island, and here assembles a neat package of terror, sharks, and special effects from Roger Ebert, Chicago Sun-Times, 3 out of 4. Nice. So it's basically all saying the same thing, that it's a creature feature, it's a B movie, and for a B movie, you get exactly what you want. Sharks attacking people, that's all I want.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it to look like good. not Sharknado. I want it to look good.
Sharknado.
All right.
It's special. That's it.
Yeah. All right. You want to start with rotten?
Let's go with rotten.
Here are the rotten scores.
Yes. Although director Rennie Harlin clearly knows his way around an action scene, he fails to make deep seem, well, deep. Leah Rosen, People Magazine.
Deep Blue Sea, a sort of cross between Aliens without the thrills and Poseidon Adventure without the compensations, doesn't deliver the killer shark versus A-list character actor thrills you crave. Keith Phillips, The AV Club.
That's so specific. Deep Blue Sea is a forgettable, waterlogged shark thriller which attempts to be nothing more than that and delivers even less. Joe Lazito, Big Picture, Big Sound, score 1.5 out of 4. Damn, Joe.
Harlan directed Cutthroat Island, but oddly enough, it did not stop studios from giving him big bucks to repeat his mistakes. Andrea Chase, Killer Movie Reviews, 0 out of 5.
Andrea's mad about this.
Yeah, she doesn't like Rennie Harlin at all.
She really doesn't. If science can make sharks super intelligent, why can't it do the same for screenwriters? For a movie about the advancement of knowledge, C is often flabbergastingly dumb. James Sanford, Kalamazoo Gazette.
Okay.
Sir, sit
Yeah.
down.
That's some big word from someone from Kalamazoo. All right. IMDb. Okay. So IMDb, we pick the best. Well, I go through and try to pick the funniest from 10 being good to 1 being bad. Okay, so I will start with 10.
Mm,
Oh, wait, sorry. 138,000 users, 5.9 out of 10.
not bad.
10 through 6 positive user ratings, 5 to 1 negative. Well, 5 sometimes is kind of like an okay.
Yeah.
So, it isn't Shakespeare. So what? 10 out of 10 by Laugh.
One of the best films of the 90s. It's an action packed creature feature. 9 out of 10. Lucum 52760.
Silly at moments, but the water rampage scenes are very impressive and fun. Great suspense, great fight for survival spirit that makes me forget about the B movie smell. 8 out of 10. I'm Sieg. Sure.
Sure. Just when you thought it was safe to go into the video store. 7 out of 10. Communist Godzilla.
Communist Godzilla. Not as bad as you probably heard. 6 out of 10. Ricketing.
Yes, sir.
Uh,
Stupid but entertaining. 5 out of 10. Anchor 6.
Deep Blue, don't see. 4 out of 10. David A-5. Play on the title.
Deep Blue Stupidity. 3 out of 10. Knack 15.
There were so many plays on the Deep Blue Sea
I love
title.
this.
I rooted for the shark. 2 out of 10.
Gillfisher?
Gillfisher -1.
Sure.
I rooted for the shark.
Rennie Harlan must die. 1 out of 10. Quicksand.
Yeah, he didn't like this movie at all.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
When you call for the death of the
But
director.
we don't encourage the death of the director. We think he's just fine. Is he still alive? If he is, we want to keep him that way. Okay, maybe nobody kills him.
Yeah, no, Rennie Harlan is still alive. His last movie, do I have this right? Out of curiosity, he's done some big movies, but they're all big dumb action movies, and they're great. I don't
love
mean
it.
that like Cutthroat Eye, Cliffhanger with Sylvester Stallone, Driven with Sylvester Stallone, The Legend of Hercules. That wasn't so great. Yeah, he's got 6 movies in production.
Nice.
The Misfits. A lot of these I never heard of before. Class Reunion 3, Bodies at Rest, White Collar, the TV series. He did Burn Notice. He did a few of it.
Oh, I
The
love
Covenant.
Burn
The Covenant. Yeah, I love Burn Notice too. I thought The Covenant was better than Mindhunters. But yeah,
He did Mind Hunters or Mind Hunter?
No, not the Netflix Mindhunter. No.
The shitty movie Mind Hunters?
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite movies in the world.
Yeah, it's one of those ones that was so cheesy but
oh god, it was so terrible.
Like the one with Val Kilmer, L. Cool J,
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
he was an executive producer on that one. Thank you, sir.
On which one?
He was also on Mindhunters. He was an executive producer on that.
Yeah.
I was like,
that's
fantastic.
Not the amazing Mindhunter on Netflix.
No.
That
the
was
shitty one.
Great. Yeah.
Which is currently on Prime, guys. If anybody wants to go watch it, please do.
Yeah, it's awesome. But yeah, he's done. Yeah, he's an action. Yeah. I think he did Nightmare. He started by doing Nightmare on Elm Street 4.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, like that was his big introduction, and then he did Nightmare on Elm Street 4, and then Die Hard 2, Cliffhanger, Cutthroat Island, The Long Kiss Goodnight, Driven, Mindhunters, Exorcist: The Beginning, The Covenant. Yeah, so he's just an action guy.
Fantastic.
And he's good at it. He's good at it. I like his movies.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing overly, not a whole lot of thinking, and sometimes that's all you want. So we are going to watch the trailer, and then we're going to make our prediction for Deep Blue Sea.
Tell me, Mr. Franklin, have you ever known anyone with Alzheimer's?
No.
What if you could end all that suffering with a single pill? Give me till Monday morning, 48 hours. I'll give you results that'll skyrocket your stock price.
In the most advanced research facility in the world. Wow.
Beneath its glassy surface, a world of gliding monsters.
A team of specialists is working against the clock.
Did someone order the fish?
On an experiment to benefit mankind.
Sharks never show any loss of brain activity as they age.
We're this close to the reactivation of human brain cell.
But before they can save millions of lives...
Tell me I didn't see that. They recognize that gun.
It's impossible. Sharks do not swim backwards. They can't.
They'll have to find a way to save their own.
Just what the hell did you do to those sharks?
Did you feel something?
Jim and I use gene therapies to increase their brain mass.
What is that?
As a side effect, the sharks got smarter.
Somebody, please, tell me what that is. Go! Go!
Yay!
I'm excited for it.
I am.
There's sharks and explosions and breaking glass and floods, and I love it.
Yeah. So your prediction then?
I think I'm going to love it. I think I'm going to be excited to watch it again.
I'm not looking for smart.
No.
I want dumb action,
Mhm.
dumb sharks eating
Mhm.
dumb people.
Yep.
I want it to look decent. I
Yep.
know it's 1999, so I can be forgiven for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not going to be like the effects of today,
No.
where you sit there going, who's the real person and who's the effect?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
like the Meg 2.
Oh my God.
Can't wait to see that stupid
Me
movie.
too. I love the Meg so much. And then I was
Yeah.
like, wait, you guys are making a second one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, when I heard that, I'm like, well, where's the Meg on streaming? And it's nowhere on streaming.
It's nowhere. It was for a while there. It was on a few different, like it was rotating.
Yeah, it was on a
through the
bunch,
streaming
yeah,
services, and now it's just gone. And I'm like, but guys, I want to rewatch it like 4
Yeah.
times.
But anyways, yeah. No, this looks
Amazing.
good. I think I'm gonna like it.
I think I'm gonna like it too.
Can't be
I'm
worse.
really hopeful.
Weekend at Bernie's 2 and Mannequin 2.
No. At least we hope it can't be.
Yeah. Okay. So for the podcast, we are going to go watch Deep Blue Sea and come back and see if we actually like it.
Mm-hmm.
And for those listening or watching live, please watch Deep Blue Sea sometime this week and come back and see if you agree with us. Yeah. Those other two were fucking horrible.
They were terrible. They were so fucking terrible. I'm terrified for the other double features.
Yeah. Well, next week we preview Caddyshack.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. Our next drive-in is Grizzly 2
Okay. That one I'm very curious about.
with George Clooney and Laura Dern
Mm-hmm.
from the early 80s.
And we love that.
What's is the one with I know Leprechaun 2 and Halloween Resurrection
I know that's gonna be a fun one.
down the road. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
gonna be a fun one. And then where is it here? Ah, Grizzly 2 and Sleepaway Camp 2.
Oh, okay, that one should
We're
be
out in the woods
interesting.
for that double feature. So that
Yeah.
that could do it. It's possible that
It could go
those
either
two,
way.
yeah, or might not be. Hopefully, knock on wood, as bad as that horrible fucking
Yeah,
double
no.
feature was. Yeah, we'll
That's
see.
terrible.
But
Okay.
Caddyshack next week we'll preview.
Yes,
I'm sure the
fantastic.
trivia will be awesome.
Oh, I'm sure it will be. And also, I'm very scared that my wonderful memories of Caddyshack are not going to represent themselves.
Yeah, it's 1980.
Yeah,
It's been a while since I've seen that movie.
me too.
All right.
Fantastic. Let's go watch movies.
Yay.